Let's talk clocks now. So remember, we can only use clocks when we have denominators denominators that are factors of 60. That are factors of 60. So what would that be? Well, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it won't be 7 because 60 cannot be divided into 7 equal parts. And it's not going to be 8 or 9 either, but it will be 10. It won't be 11, but it will be 12, 15, 20, 25. I'm running out of room. Oh, not 25. I'm sorry. 20, 30, and 60. Okay, so let's take a look. If I ever don't know that, if I can't remember all of them, well, I can look here at my clock. So when I click my clock fractions, it asks me, how many parts do you want to split it? All of these right here are factors of 60. Okay, so let's do our problem first. So we're going to do an addition and then we'll do subtraction. So our addition problem is going to be, let's go green. Our addition problem is going to be, let's see, we'll do 1/3 plus 2/10. Okay, so I have my first clock here. I'm actually going to get rid of it because I want to split it into parts. So I'm going to add a clock with fractions, and now it asks me how many parts. If I am splitting my clock into thirds, I want to break it into 3 even parts. Right there, it shows me that each part is 20 minutes each. So 1/3 of a clock is going to be right here, colored in. And that is going to be 20 minutes out of 60 total minutes. It also can be broken up into these 5-minute chunks. Here, we've got 5 minutes in between every number. And here we would have 4 minutes colored in out of 12 total. So 1/3 can also equal 4/12 or 20 minutes out of 60. Now, let's do 2/10. So, we're going to add another clock, a clock with fractions, and we want to split it into 10 even parts. That is our denominator. And our clock said that when you split a clock into 10 even parts, you're going to get 6 minutes each. That's because 60 minutes divided by 10 is going to equal 6. So, we have 2/10 here. That means I need to color in 2 out of the 10 pieces. So let's take a look. We don't have them evenly with that 5-minute marker, so we cannot use 12 as a denominator. So we have to count our minutes only here. So we've got 2 minutes colored in out of, I'm sorry, not 2 minutes. We've got 2 out of 10 pieces colored in. Each piece is 6 minutes. 6 plus 6 equals 12. So here we've got 12 minutes. So 2/10 equals 12 minutes out of 60. All right, now we have our common denominator. The only thing we can use here is the denominator of 60. So our new fraction is going to be 20/60ths plus 12/60ths. And you will add just the numerators and you will get 32 out of 60. Another way you could do this is you can move your 12 minutes over onto that first clock. So I'll use yellow for the 2/10. I can now move over here and I can color in 12 minutes. So here I've got 5, 10, 11, 12 minutes. And now I can look and I can see that this is my 30-minute mark and it goes over to 31, 32. that is another way that you can do this. But either way, you will get 32 out of 60. All right, let's clear our board and do some subtraction. So again, we are only working with denominators that are factors of 60. So our problem here is going to be, let's do 9/12 minus 2/4. Okay, let's make our first clock here. That is 9/12. I'm going to open up clock with fractions. How many parts? I want to look at my denominator. My denominator is 12, which is 5 minutes each for each part. So here I have my 12 even parts. My numerator, though, tells me that I need to color in 9 of those parts. So I'm going to color in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is my 9/12 colored in. Okay, so 9/12 can also equal 45 minutes out of 60. Remember, each part is 5 minutes, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So 45 minutes out of 60, or, and take a look here, let's switch colors, or 3/4 of the clock. If I were to break this up into fourths, I've got 3 even colored in out of 4. So I could do 45 minutes out of 60 or 3/4. Sorry, let me put that in blue. Okay, so now we've got 9/12 figured out. Let's figure out 2/4. Well, I already have a common denominator here with 4, but we're still going to make that clock just in case. So I make my clock. I see my denominator is 4. I want to split my clock into 4 even parts. It tells me right there that each part is going to be 15 minutes each. So I'm going to move that clock over here. Now I want to do 2/4. So I'm going to color in 2 parts out of 4 total. And I'm going to see here that I'm going to get 30 minutes. So 2/4 equals 30 minutes out of 60, or 6 5-minute markers out of 12. Now we can pick any of these fractions to do our subtraction with. So let's start with working with our minutes. If I want to use the minutes, I'm going to do that in red. So if I want to do this by minutes, I want to circle my denominators with 60. So I've got the same denominator, so now I can do 45 minutes out of 60 minus 30 out of 60. And I'm going to get 15 minutes out of 60. Another way I can do this is I can do it by fourths. So I figured out that this clock over here, 9/12, also equals 3/4. Well, my first clock is 2/4. I'm sorry, my second clock is 2/4. So I could do 3/4 minus 2/4, and I would get 1/4. Another way I could do this, I can use my denominator of 12. Okay, since I did all this work, I could pick my favorite one. I could do 9/12 minus 6/12, and I would get 3/12. Okay, any of those answers are correct. If you are a visual person, if you like drawing, well, you can draw right on your clock. So let's take a look here. We have this yellow and blue mixture, right? We've got that. That shows our 9/12. 9 out of 12 5-minute markers are colored in. Well, I want to subtract what I have over on my clock for 2/4, which is 6 out of 12. So if I want to subtract that, I can grab my eraser and I can subtract 1, 2, 3. So here I subtracted 1, 2, 3/12, but I want to get rid of 6/12, so I'll subtract 4, 5, 6. What am I left with? I'm left with 15 minutes out of 60. I'm left with 3 out of 12 markers, and I'm left with 1/4 of the clock. Please let Miss Fisher know if you're still struggling with clock fractions.